Morning, YouTube. How y'all doing today? This is Anthony Fallon, and this is I did a dream like this before. I did a video like this before talking about these dreams, and I haven't done one in a while because I haven't been recording my dreams like I did the first one. But this one was it really this one is stuck with me, and I just woke up probably about 20 minutes ago, something like that, 15 minutes ago, something like that, and about 11:50 something p.m. a.m. I meant. So I'm gonna explain this as best as I can remember, and I'm trying not to talk too fast because I can leave out details when I get to talking, because I be thinking so fast and shit. Excuse my language, but man, these dreams is they're adventurous, it's action packed, um, and they're always something like this. It's almost like it's a test because I'll wake up after everything has happened. But this is the crazy part is that I saw the foreshadow of this dream on how it's going to play out, should I say? And it's like I watched somebody else do it first, and they failed, and I mean, I just woke up feeling weird, just it's like, wow, what does this mean? What do these kind of dreams mean, and why do I keep having these dreams? Because I might just do a series of this and tell you some of the dreams I do remember till this day, and they happened many years ago. Um, and and sometimes they'll come to me, back to back whenever I fall asleep. Um, it's crazy, man. I can't explain it. I wish somebody could help me, because I wish I had somebody or knew somebody that could explain these dreams to me, because I just don't know, and just to have some kind of understanding to their best of knowledge in what they know that's experienced in explaining these dreams. So let me give it a good shot and slow my thoughts down and record everything that my mind has recorded about this dream. So let's go to the foreshadowing where I observe the scenery and the environment and how it played out. Okay, so when I fell into the dream, it was like we was in a Asian deli, something like that, and I was watching a crew of guys, 6 or 7, some at this time, yeah, something like that, go to the back where they had the sushi, but obviously it was something else going on besides the sushi. It was like trying to gather some intel or something like that, right? And but I didn't this foreshadowing of this, it wasn't in detail, so because I was just watching, so it got to the part where all hell broke loose when the action started, and let's just say, for instance, I'm watching someone else play the script first, okay, and so it was to the part where well, you're supposed to get some information or whatever from the deli, so they was in the back. The guy, there was this kind of like a standoff, and some guys came from out the back in suits, and the guy, there was like his this gang, this Asian gang top assassin. He was like close by the guy, and he ended up shooting the assassin, and he grabbed the assassin's uh, automatic weapon, and the other guys that was part of the crew that came in, they all ran first, and so the guy that had killed the top assassin was the last one leaving out, and so he's blasting his way out, shooting the guys that was coming from out of the back of the deli, you know. He shot a couple of those guys and stuff like that, and so the chase was on, and they was on foot. Okay, so he's running up the street, and with some guys behind him, he shoot them, and or whatnot, and he missed a couple of them, and eventually he ran out of bullets on the automatic weapon and stuff. So he had a handgun and ran out of bullets on that too, while he's running up the street, trailing everybody else, because I was with the other group that was ahead of him, other 4 or 5 guys or whatever that was ahead of him, but I could see what he's doing as well. And so while he's making it back to the safe haven, there is a guy in a wheelchair, and somebody's pushing him, and they have a shotgun or something like that. And so while he's about to, break the corner to where the safe haven was, he runs out of bullets because he missed the guy who's pushing the guy in the wheelchair, with when he's shooting, and they end up, right before he can make it to the safe haven, they end up shooting him in the back. Okay, and that's where it goes into. That's where it all starts with me now. So now, here is my turn to play this script in this dream. But it starts off like we're at the facility, or say it's like a facility, a training camp, or something of like that, because this is how this dream is showing me. And it's like another group come in, and we are competing. He got a couple of trainers. It was like some NFL guy. I can't recall who it was. I'm just gonna say defensive end Chris Canty or something like that. It was somebody like that, and him and I became tight. He was like a trainer or something, but however we became close. It's not like I was doing anything physical, but I just know it was another group of guys there, and there was like some kind of competition type thing. And the reason why I know that is because it was like, it took me back to my high school basketball years and stuff like that. I saw some familiar faces in the dream when we was all in the locker room without basketball jerseys and shorts on and stuff like that, and then we was in line getting ready to go out on the court, and I remember I had my wallet in my back pocket, and I told my friend to hold the wallet, and then he handed it to someone else that I knew to give it to my cousin, and she was a cheerleader, you know what I'm saying, and I was just like, yo, just hold that for me, and blah blah blah. And so then we went out on the basketball court, and we didn't play no basketball game or nothing like that. It just showed us lining up and about to hit the court. And now it goes from the time we was entering the court, and it goes back to the Asian deli, and it's like the basketball crew, the basketball team, the starting 5 that I had that was with me. It's like we all were there, so it's like 5, 6 deep, because we had like some bodyguards or something with us. And so we go to the back of the deli, and we're in line, and where they were serving, they had the sushi and stuff like that. So it's like, sushi, so we trying to gather information diplomatically and stuff like that. And so we end up getting some food, and we sitting down in the back by the sushi, where they have the sushi and seafood and all that stuff, serving that. And so we're talking to the ladies that is serving, back there serving the sushi and the raw fish and all of that. And so they're asking us where we're from and stuff like that. So, I, one of the guys I had, and we was like at a table, and so I had my back turned towards the entrance, and there was other people there too, like right behind me and stuff like that. And they had a couple of the other guys, you know, facing the entrance. And so while we all talking to the ladies, and he's telling us, and one of them mentioned where we was from, and and I'm from, like, I was like, Wacomico, and they was like, I never heard of Wacomico. I was like, well, it's, and I'm going doing this verbatim, like, we're trying to we're divulging some information, but not being too open about it. So I was like, from Wacomico and blah blah blah. Yeah, I was like, yeah, you're really not gonna know where this place is because it's not on the map. And it was like, then one of the ladies was like, well, I can find it, if she looked it up, and stuff like that. And I was like, well, you really not gonna look it up because you're not gonna find it because the zip code is like when you look it up, it's gonna come up under a whole different city. I was like, but where we're from does have its own zip code. I was like, but it's gonna look up the main city in my area, my county or whatever, And then I was like, that's why it's gonna be hard to find Wacomico. And so I look up and I notice everybody else on my team was like staring off, and I was like, and I said, is everybody else? I was like, is everybody else trapped in time, and I'm the only one that's still in real time? Because everybody had just like stopped and stared, and like no facial expressions, like time stood still almost. It's because things was about to pop off. And remember, I had my back turned to me. I had my back turned towards everything, and I didn't hear nothing, popping off. It was just like right after I said that, everybody snapped out of their trance or whatever they were staring at, and then they got up. I got up, and it was a security guard that was with us behind us. He drew out one of his guns. And I noticed that the Asian guys in the suits came from behind, and they was talking to us, blah blah blah. And I grabbed the security guard's other gun, and so to my left, the top assassin for that gang was like had one of my other guys at point blank range. So I took the handgun. And shot him in the head, and he fell to the floor. That's when bullets started flying, and they killed the security guard, and they shooting at us, and I grabbed the automatic weapon. So now the other guys are in front of me, and I'm the trail guy. And so I'm taking the gun, the automatic gun, and I'm shooting the guys that came from out the back, and I hit it's like I hit most of them or all of them as I was leaving out of the deli and everything. So most of them, and then some of the guys started chasing me, and I'm like, damn, they left me behind. So I'm trailing, and I'm shooting behind me with the automatic weapon, and I shoot a couple more guys, and they was like, you got to get him, you got to get him. And so I'm running up the street, and I still have the automatic weapon. So there I see the guy with the wheelchair, in the wheelchair, and the guy behind them pushing, as they trying to follow behind me, and I'm shooting the guy that's gonna push the guy in the wheelchair. I'm lighting him up, but he never drops. He never dropped. And so here I am running. I'm running, and I shoot up my last bullets in the semi, and I'm out of bullets, but I got my handgun still that I grabbed from the security guard. And so I threw the gun behind me, the kind of the semi-automatic. I threw that to kind of throw them off, because the guy's pushing the wheelchair. Remember, and the guy in the wheelchair has a shotgun. So I'm running, and I can hear them shooting. So I'm dodging. And by the time I get to the safe haven, the guy that's pushing the wheelchair drops, because I had shot him earlier. Remember, I said I lit him up. I had shot him earlier, and he fell. So the guy in the wheelchair had fell out of the wheelchair, and I walked up on him. And I didn't kill him. He didn't have a shotgun in his hand at that time. I don't know where the shotgun went. None of that. I don't know. It wasn't laying beside him. But he was like, he looked like Terrence Howard, man, in the wheelchair, to be honest with you. Like maybe a dark-skinned Asian guy. I don't know. Asian Terrence Howard. I mean, that's the best way I could. I mean, I didn't see the face, but he had that hair like Terrence Howard and stuff like that. I can't say, but that's who it kind of reminded. That's who it kind of reminded me of. In essence, not that I saw the actual person, and it was weird, because then it was like he shrunk into a little man. You know what I'm saying? Because it was pretty much over at that point, and I just kind of sit right there in front of the haven, and then I just woke up after it was all done. It's like I passed the test, and I woke up right up out of my sleep, just like that. Can somebody help me explain these dreams like this? Because they come and go. Sometimes I go weeks and months without dreaming, and then all of a sudden it hits me. Like I just end up somewhere in another world. I don't know, man. I'm trying to understand what does this mean? Am I living another life? Is it a test? What is it? In my dream state, man, just like, am I really living two lives almost? And I can't explain it, because sometimes I wake up with cuts on my back, or it used to be on my face, or stuff like that. Excuse me, I got the hiccups, but I'm just this is like weirded out truly, because I don't know anyone that can explain these dreams to me on a professional, spiritual level. I don't know. I'm making these videos because maybe somebody would see it and help me understand. And please don't come with me with no BS, man, because this is part of my spiritual life, dream life. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to call it, but these dreams keep reoccurring in different formats and platforms, and sometimes they are the same dream over and over again, and I get further in the dream each time. It's like I get to a point and I wake up, and then sometimes I can go back to sleep the next night or whatever, and I can further the dream, or it might be months in between before, or years in between before I even have that dream again, and progress even further. Um, I can tell you this much: these type of dreams have been happening since like early 2000s, 2002, 2001, 2002, something like that. um I can and I they used to be very violent back then, to where I was like literally fighting in my sleep, uh punching and kicking in my sleep, ended up with scars and you know s- scratches and stuff like that. You can see this old scratch right here, this line right there, um, and my girl, which became my wife at the time, she used to try to wake me up out of my sleep. She stopped doing it because I ended up elbowing her and stuff. She she stopped. She just kind of let me fight it out, because it was happening on a regular, and I just thought it was because at that point in time I was frustrated in my life. I wanted to obtain knowledge, the true knowledge, um, and about my lineage, my culture, and all of that. And it was just a frustrating time, because I guess I was just hitting that growth spurt of my mind was expanding, and I just wanted to know more about life in general, and how to really live life truthfully. Um, that's the best way I can explain it. So I started doing so. Started reading history books on Black culture, and African culture and stuff like that. But now that my mind has really, I have tapped into, you know consciousness, state of consciousness and truth, and reading the Bible, the Quran, and the Metanetter, and you know about learning about the tribe of Judah. I mean, reading about Judaism, the books of antiquity, and uh, about in American history, and uh, I mean ancient American history, pre-Columbus history, and what they know from the best of knowledge. Because, like I said, Wacomico it's a nation, it's a tribe, and they all look like me. Chief Powhatan looked like me. Chief Connecticut looked like me. You know, um, so it's that's the best is that I can explain what took place in this dream that happened almost 30 minutes ago, right before I woke up. Because, like I said, at the end of the dream, I just snapped right out of my sleep, wide awake. I don't know what these dreams actually mean. If anybody have any information or any professional spiritual knowledge about reoccurring dreams that seem to be a test, uh, why are they action packed, or why it's killing, stuff like that. I don't understand it, because I'm not a violent dude like that. Like, don't get me twisted, but it's not like I be going around wanting to start something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyway, this is Anthony Fallon, and I don't know what to title this. I guess I put Elucid Dreams again. I don't know. Just to kind of start a video chapter. You know. Anyway, this is Anthony Fallon. I'm out.